So I currently make multi-six figures with my agency, and one thing that I get asked is, what are the tips and tricks, what are the items that you use every single day to get you to this point? And in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly some of the things that I use every single day, some tips, some tricks, and some items that I just could not live without. But if you're not familiar with me, my name is Ben Lister, and I help agency owners through this YouTube channel by documenting my learnings that help me to get to multi-six figures. So a bit of a grand reveal, I'm not actually going to talk about the things that help me today because I don't think they actually help me that much at all. Now, I do have some expensive things, like I have basically, I think they're the latest versions of the AirPods. They're like $200 or like $250 or something like that. I do have the fancy Apple keyboard that costs like $200 or something. And I have a fancy microphone and like the latest MacBook and all that kind of stuff, right? But none of this actually matters to me because without this, and even before I had these things, I was able to work at a pretty ridiculous pace. I was able to put things right and actually get things done. Now, a lot of people will tell me, like, what kind of keyboard do you use? Or, what's the best mouse? And just for transparency, I literally use some like $20 mouse from Amazon that's like a silent click one because it annoys me if it clicks too loud. All these different things that are just like, what do you use here? And I have like a fancy standing desk and I have, like nice notepads and nice pens and all that kind of stuff. But in actual fact, before I have ever had this, before I, invested in my workspace and invested in things that I do, and I started going to an expensive gym and stuff like that, I was still able to get things done and I was still able to work as hard as I can now. Maybe I'm slightly more productive because I don't have to deal with, small pains and, different issues and stuff like that. But a lot of the time, most of my success just comes down to actually working. And this is something that's commonly known as shiny object syndrome. This is where, you see something new for the first time, or you hear about a product or an idea or, a mindset or something like that. And now everyone is obsessed with this. This is the key to their success. Very famously, Iman Gadzhi talks about monk mode, for example. And a lot of people say that the reason he's successful is because he does monk mode. So if I do monk mode, I'm going to be as successful as him. And that's kind of like the comparison that a lot of products and a lot of companies want to make with their service and their products, and that understanding that this person over here, for example, like in the sports world, very famously, I think when I was growing up, everyone wanted to have David Beckham's football boots, right? And because if you wear David Beckham's football boots, then of course you're going to play as well as David Beckham, right? And he can have the nice boots and the nice kits and all that kind of stuff and all the extra stuff that comes with it, but unless he's on the training pitch every single day, putting in his hours, putting in his reps, making sure that he's working hard, then he's not going to have that success. And I think everyone deep down knows that the main thing that matters is actually putting in the effort and putting in the hard work. And the reason that David Beckham or any business owner that's successful, or just anyone with any sort of success, has got to that point is not because they are sponsored by a company that has these nice products and they get these, these few little tips and tricks from this product and they're able to do this, this one special thing from this product, but it's actually because they just put in the effort, right? And when it comes to growing your agency, there's only, a few different things that actually matter, and none of these products are going to help you. Whether you have the fancy AirPods or whether you just have, regular Apple plug-in earphones that come with the last iPhone or whatever it is, the only things that matters are just a few key skills, and that is literally booking calls and closing calls. If you are able to do those, you literally are able to do whatever you want with inside of your agency. It doesn't matter if you have the best equipment at this point. It doesn't matter, what kind of state your workspace is in, or even if your place is tidy, right? Like a lot of people say, you have this morning routine where you make sure you're in a tidy environment and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't even care if you haven't even showered this morning, right? As long as you are learning the skills, which is booking calls and closing calls, then you're going to be on that path to success. Now, of course, and this is like a bit of a disclaimer that I have to say every time that I mention this, but service delivery and actually learning the service and handling clients and, the scale to then going higher and all that kind of stuff is super important, right? But on a base level, to get to that 6 figures a year, to get to that 10K per month, you literally just need those two skills. If you can have people on the phone, if you can convince people to spend, 45 minutes of their time on the phone with you, and then once they're on the phone with you, you can convince them to buy your service, you can literally start any business that you want. And this is really what it comes down to. And so all of these different things, where I can't live without this, I can't live without that, no one ever mentions ideas. No one ever mentions a mindset. No one ever mentions a routine. No one ever mentions a work ethic. All of these kind of things. But people talk about, for example, this might sound terrible now, but I have like a fancy microphone, which I would recommend for your sales calls. And it's always good to have like nice audio and stuff like that, right? But it's not really going to move the needle. These are the things that I can't live without. And you say, the thing that I can't live without is my morning routine. The fact that every single morning I wake up at 7 a.m. I do this, I do this, I do this, and then I'm at my computer for 8 a.m. and I've showered, I've exercised, I've eaten, I've done whatever I'm going to do for the morning, and now I'm ready to work. That is one thing that you can't live without, and that's actually, detrimental to your success if you do not do that. Whereas if you took my fancy microphone off me and I didn't have a nice monitor, and for example, I just didn't have my phone for the day or something like that, or maybe my laptop broke, so I got a worse laptop, I could still do the work. I could still connect to my Zoom calls, I could still do my sales calls, I could still do my outreach, I could still manage my team, I could still do all of these things, because those are not the reasons why the business is successful. Those are not the things that I cannot live without. But for example, if I wake up tomorrow morning and I have someone else's mindset, I don't want to get out of bed, I don't want to do my work, I don't want to respond to my emails, I don't even want to do the outreach, and definitely don't want to take the sales calls, then my business is going to fail. And that's literally something that I cannot live without. And this is just something to remember, that, when you see the next shiny thing, whether it's a Whoop band that tracks your heart rate in your sleep and gives you metrics on how you're doing, or, whether it's the cooling mattress that costs like £2,000, it heats one side of your bed and cools one side of your bed, and it, gives you a better night's sleep or whatever it is. No matter if you have a good night's sleep, a bad night's sleep, your health is off a little bit, you haven't really eaten the best today, as long as you're actually putting the work in, as long as you're actually saying, no matter what, I'm going to do 8 hours today, I'm going to do 10 hours today, no matter what, I'm going to get my tasks done, then it doesn't really matter. Those are the things that you cannot live without. And this is something that, if you are seeing these items, if you are hearing, I always do it when I listen to a podcast, for example, someone says, they're sponsored by this thing, or I've been using this thing for a while and it's working well. I always get hooked in. I always do. But the one thing that really matters is it's okay to get hooked in by those things and spend a bit of money and stuff, and, things that hopefully should improve your life. But if you are not actually putting the work in on top of that, and you're sort of substituting that, then that's where you're going to go wrong. And I think one of the reasons that I don't really get it wrong, I don't think I do anyway, is because the work, it always comes back to the work. I always want to make sure that I'm doing things right, and I'm actually putting in effort, and I'm actually putting in time, and if there's tasks that need to be done, then I'm doing them. Now, am I saying that every single task gets done every single day, and I have 100% perfect days every single time? No, because obviously I don't think anyone does, to be honest with you. Or maybe someone like Elon Musk or David Goggins, or just because they're a little bit crazy. But having that mindset of focusing on skills and focusing on things that actually matter is going to put you way, way further down the line than focusing on, what kind of desk that you have or whatever it may be, right? So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for this video. If you are looking to sign more clients, then go ahead and click the first link in the description. We are not going to send you some emails or texts or anything like that. It's literally just a video of me explaining what my company does and how we do this for tons and tons of agencies right now. But if you want to just watch the content, then that's completely cool. But if you did like the video, then go ahead and click the like button and comment if you want me to cover anything specifically that you're interested in, and subscribe if you want to see more. I appreciate you watching this one to the end. Cheers.